This is part 2 of this week, and I'm currently 3-0. I got all the Thanksgiving games correct. My first Sunday game this week is the 7-4 Chargers at the 6-5 Falcons. The Chargers are a 1-point road favorite. Last week, they lost to the Ravens 30-23, which snapped their 6-game win streak. Each game the Falcons have scored 25 or more points, they've won. But their past 2 games, they haven't even reached 20, and they've lost both times. The Broncos blew them out 38-6, and they lost to the Saints 20-17. The bad news for them is things won't get easier this Sunday for them this week against the Chargers. The Chargers had the best scoring defense in the league, allowing only 14 points per game and a very good offensive line. I'll go with the Chargers. 8-ball. You may rely on it. Teddy? All right, Teddy, make your pick. He picked the Falcons. My second Sunday game is a 3-8 Titans at the 7-5 Commanders. The Commanders are a touchdown home favorite. You might be wondering why it isn't more, but the Commanders have lost 3 in a row. They lost to their rival, the Cowboys, last week, the Eagles the week before, and to the Steelers. The Titans have been terrible all season, but they did beat the Texans 32-27 last week. Washington has the second worst rushing defense in the league. Only the Jets are behind them. One of the Titans' offensive players, Will Levis, has returned and has made their offense so much better. He ran for 119 yards and a touchdown and helped them defeat Houston. This is a must-win game for the Commanders, and I'll go with them because I think they'll try and bounce back after 3 straight losses. 8-ball. Signs point to yes. Teddy? All right, Teddy, make your pick. He picked the Titans. The last game is the 9-2 Eagles at the 8-4 Ravens. The Ravens are a field goal favorite. Both these teams are coming off wins, with the Eagles beating the Rams 37-20 and the Ravens beating the Chargers 30-23. So I call this the most exciting game this week and one of the most exciting this season. These 2 rush offenses are the top in the league, so both will likely score a high number of points. Philadelphia has a stronger defense, while Baltimore's has some holes. Baltimore has faced many pass attempts this season, and their pass defense has allowed the second most in the league, ahead of only the Bucs. Since the Eagles have a stronger defense, I'm predicting them in a shootout. 8-ball. It is certain. Teddy? All right, Teddy, make your pick. He picked the Eagles. And now, a special guest feature with my grandpa to analyze today's 3 games.
Go.
Hello, it's Gridiron Girl again with a special interview. This is my grandpa. He is an expert at fantasy football picks, and he will be making picks for my Sunday games. My 3 games are the Chargers versus the Falcons, the Titans versus the Commanders, and the Eagles versus the Ravens. The first game is the Chargers versus the Falcons. Who do you pick and why?
Well, I'm going to go with the Chargers.
And why?
Well, this may be one of the toughest games on the sheet today, in that the Chargers were doing very well until they ran into the Baltimore Ravens. And you got the situation now where the Chargers were very competitive, but they lost their running back. And their quarterback, Herbert, was not able to make up for the loss. However, when you look at it, the Atlanta Falcons have basically stopped winning. Their quarterback has digressed instead of held to his record. The field goal kickers have fallen apart too. So when you look at it in a game that can go either way, you have to look for the Chargers just because Herbert has a few more receivers, even though he lost his best running back, Dobbins.
Very good. Now, the Titans versus the Commanders. Who do you pick for the Titans versus the Commanders?
Well, the Commanders have basically lost several of the last games, and the question is, have they gotten to the point where the rest of the league has found it out? The Titans are not in their class, but you have to look at the home team on this one, and that appears to be the Commanders. So I think it's kind of an easier game to pick than the Titans because the Titans are going also with a rookie quarterback. But I think that the home field will give the advantage to the Commanders.
Very good. The last game, the Eagles versus the Ravens. Who do you pick and why?
Well, the Ravens have surprised. They surprised last week in that they more or less stopped a team that used to be able to pass on them. The weakness of the Ravens as a defense was on passing team, but they managed to stop them. Now, Philadelphia, right now, the quarterback Hurts has basically played well. However, they've been without Devontae Smith, one of their wide receivers. So you're looking at this game. It's a home game, I think, for Baltimore? Yeah, it's a home game for Baltimore. And I believe that they will pull this one out. The other question would be on a close game. How about the kicker of Baltimore? He seems to have lost his charm in being able to kick from anywhere beyond 50 yards. So that's what I would look at. 3 tough games. The games for the rest of the season are going also to be so difficult because you have a situation here where there are so many teams that can win, get into the playoffs, depending upon what their opponents do. So you just have to hope that your starting lineups can basically not get injured and produce.
Okay, those are my grandpa's picks. Please thank him for being a guest star this week. Please tune in for my videos on Sunday. Those are my 3 Sunday games this week. To recap my interview with my grandpa, he picked the Chargers, Commanders, and Ravens, so he picked against me only once. Please subscribe and tune in next week as I pick week 14 games. Hope you had a happy Thanksgiving!